Hello and indeed welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. This is review number 130, part 13, and the last part of my series of Baker's Dozen. Whew, I'm nearly out of breath with that introduction. It felt like a long one this time, this series, but enjoyable nonetheless. There's been some ups, some downs, all 12 years old, and we have reached the end, the final one. Seems to have been a lot of Speysiders in this one for me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like there's been a lot of Speysiders. And we're back with Speyside again with Glen Grant Distillery. They're in Speyside, owned by the Campari Group. This one, the Glen Grant 12-year-old bottle of 43%. Chill filtered, no reason to doubt it, so there is probably colour added. Although once again, like a lot of them, if there's colour added, there's not an awful lot. That is a relatively natural colour, I would suggest. Matured, ex-bourbon, ex-sherry casks. That's the information you go with. It's the information I get. So, let's get into it, shall we? Nose. Tangy, citrusy, orange, lemon. Slightly perfumed. Now, give this one time to sell. Give them all time to settle. I would suggest that with any whiskey. Give it a chance to settle in your glass. But this one in particular, a lot of that slight eau de cologne perfume thing and whatnot, once this is settled in your glass, that will circulate out. That'll go. Give it a chance to relax and you get the benefit of it. Give a whiskey 15 minutes in your glass to get the benefit. Or longer. But not too long. You want to get in there, don't you? So once this is settled, then it comes to life. Candied fruit, hints of raspberry jam, fresh plum. I don't find a lot of pointers toward the sherry end of the maturation in this. There's none of that heavy dried fruit or fruit cake, but neither is it all bourbon heavy. There's no, you don't get a lot of that. I would suggest vanilla, and there's none of that really in here either. So with that in mind, then I think what you're just basically looking at is a really, really well balanced malt. It just, everything just plays so well together in here. It's you've got your sherry bombs, right? You've got your peat monsters. I'm going to suggest that this is a fruit salad. And it's not the only fruit salad out there, but of a whiskey. But to me, I think that's the best way to describe this one. It's a fruit salad. It's just all about fresh fruit. And it's good for that. It benefits of it. Now, there are other things. There's a slight hint of cardboard, but it's only very slight. There's maybe a sweet tea because it's incredibly creamy on the nose. But I would still say that fresh fruit and all that citrus and as I said, raspberry jam, things like that are the dominant thing here. So onto the palate. Lovely, rounded, sweet and sour arrival. Old school. Light on the palate, but not light in that you would miss it. It's not fleeting, it's not one-dimensional. It's light and clean. It's not oily, it's not heavy. It's just a real good, clean, fresh. And fresh to the point now that I'm actually getting something that I didn't get in my notes. There's a lovely peppermint, clean, zingy sort of thing in there. And it's just, it really is. Freshness, cleanliness is something that goes along with that fruit that was getting in the nose then. Orange, very definitely. Milk chocolate, very definitely. More of that raspberry jam. more candied fruit, apricot, pear, white grape. There's a little touch of something that, not sweet, not bitter. It's even like a sweet nut or like almond. Yeah, but it's only there and no more. Just there and no more. Very, very, very clean palate. Very refreshing. Very nice. Finish. Medium length. Memories of that orange. Chocolate. Once again, very, very clean. Yeah, very good. Can take a touch of water, but literally just a couple of drops. I wouldn't overdo it. It's 43%. It doesn't change it completely. It opens up that fruit a little bit in the nose. It was fresh already. It's fresher now. Don't dilute it. Don't overdo it with the water. Just those couple of drops just rounds it off even more. So if there were edges on this, of which there weren't an awful lot, they're well rounded, and yeah, very nice. Finish doesn't change much, but still just a good clean finish, clinical almost. Would I recommend it? Of course I would recommend it. Good easy sipper, but that's when I get to the next portion of this video that I explain what would be the only thing that would sort of put me off this. So, with that in mind, let's move to that section and see what I have to say, shall we? Aye, it is a good easy sipper, definitely. But what's the only thing that puts me off it being an easy sipper? Well, it's the price. I paid £43 for this. It usually comes in between the £40 and £45 mark here in the UK. Not bad. Not a bad price, really. But remembering that it is 43%, it is chill filtered, there is colour added. It's what else you can get out there. I said I would call this a fruit salad. It's not the only one out there that I would say is like a fruit salad of whiskey. This is what I'm going to suggest to you. The Glencairn 10-year-old. Also a great fruity whiskey. Just like what, £43 I paid for this. You'll pay £38 for this. Ball of 46%, no colour added, non-chill filtered. So, which would I recommend? Well, I'm going to recommend the Glencairn 10-year-old over the Glen Grant 12. For more than one reason. You know, it's cheaper, it's better presented, it's better whiskey. This is actually a great drinking whiskey. It is. Glencairn 10-year-old's better. So this is what I recommend. Glencairn 10-year-old over the, if you like the Glen Grant 12-year-old, I'm going to recommend the Glencairn 10-year-old. If you wish to know what Glen Grant 12-year-old is like on chill filtered, you can buy, there was a travel retail release to this in a litre bottle. And it was the best. I found it now to be I haven't tried it. I don't own one, but I will. I'm going to buy one because it looks like it's better value. Well, it is better value. It comes in a litre bottle, £48. I was saying it for. So when you break that down, it was probably coming in closer to the Glencairn price, but you're getting it 48% and non-chill filtered. Aberlour do this as well. There's a 12-year-old bottle of 48% and non-chill filtered, as opposed to their standard 12-year-old, which is released, can't remember, it's either 40 or 43%, but chill filtered colour added. So, if it were me, if I had my say with those distilleries, that say would be, do away with these releases and just give us those bottle of 48% non-chill filtered. I understand that there's less yield for the distillery bottling it at that higher percentage. Surely it costs them less to non-chill filter it because they don't have to put it through the process of chill filtration. I understand it will go cloudy. It's me as a whiskey enthusiast that would ask for this, and I know that most of you would probably ask the same, but it's just the way of it, isn't it? So getting back to this, yes, I would recommend it as a great sipping whiskey. Lovely, light. You could drink this all day long. It feels like you could literally drink this all day long and never even have a hangover. But it's not. Oh. But not in such a way that it's a weak, thin whiskey. It has got heft, it's got body. It's just that price is the only thing. So, there. That is the end of that. That's the end of this series. Been a good one. I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this series. I'd like to thank you for joining me all the time. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's always a pleasure to do these reviews. I would like to thank my patrons. If you would wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. Until the next time, where I actually will be doing something a little different. Here's your good health, my friends. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.